nearly 10 yards per carry. Ohio State threw the ball 40 times. They ran for 35. Most of those were late, though. Do you like the balance, or was it what Michigan State was giving them?
I think it was kind of what Michigan State was doing. They were daring Ohio State to throw the football. We know, and they knew, that Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins have the ability to make such explosive plays. So it was a little bit of that. But even though they didn't tear out the big ones, you certainly saw each of those tailbacks get the crucial runs when they needed them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the offensive line did a really good job to open up some holes for those guys. Emeka Buka, got a pancake block, pulling around there, one of those reverse counters. So it takes, like I said, if you're going to get big, a long time run, your receivers have to get blocks down the field, a tight end or a lineman has to get a block down the field, not only at the line of scrimmage. I think you saw that with these guys, but it's good that you have two of those guys that you can kind of, yin and yang a little bit. Quinshon had the big game last week, and now Travion was able to step up, and against Michigan State, and like I said, go out there and average almost 10 yards per carry.
All right, next, special teams. After a rough week for Jaden Fielding, he made 5 field goals. He made a field goal, 5 for 5 on PATs. All 7 kickoffs were touchbacks. We good, or is it just after a rough day last week?
Well, obviously, and there was, even though it was never specifically said, there was some sort of physical problem, and that had Ryan Day at least referring to it a little bit. Was watching him specifically skipping warm-ups. No issue in warm-ups, and obviously no issues during the game.
Just a bad day last week, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. Whatever the yips he had, he didn't have it. We thought that maybe we'd see Austin Snyder would be ready if Jaden did, and he warmed up well as we watched, during the pregame, and I thought, he's got a shot to go out and do this. And then he had this field goal attempt. He was able to split the uprights. Now, just a 30-yarder, you should make those things. It's just a long extra point, basically. But still, he had, 7 kickoffs, I think, and all of them were in the end zone. So that's what you want your kicker to do, and he was able to go out there and perform well.
All right, next, rate the opponents. I know they're looking at a tough, short week at Oregon, but how do you see Michigan State faring the rest of the way?
Growing and adjusting. Like most people, Skip, a new roster in so many pieces with so many transfers. But certainly you could see a little bit of what gets people excited about Aiden Childs. The turnovers have been and will be an issue, it seems, but if they can ever get the running game going, certainly they've got the offensive threats as far as wide receivers and a tight end and Jack Belling. Defensively, they probably still got a ways to go, and maybe it's hard to measure them against Ohio State, but they've got the kind of ability that it wouldn't be too terribly surprising if they get a game during the course of the season you wouldn't expect them to get.
No, I agree with you. I think they are an improving team. Like I said, the first half, with what Childs was doing, I'm like, we were both during commercial. This guy's been pretty impressive. He's making the throws. He's making plays. And, he did have some pressure. Like I said, Ohio State, and they started a freshman left tackle, Rakeem Johnson, I think his name was.
Yes.
And, we were able to expose that a little bit, get some pressure, get some push, got some push inside, too. And, when you get somebody in your face, it's hard for anybody to make plays consistently. And then, like Paul said, they didn't really have the opportunity to run the ball against Ohio State. Just 47 yards on 27 attempts or something like that, 25 attempts. That's going to win you a lot of games when you can shut down a team and make them one-dimensional. Ohio State's able to do that. Now, will it improve? They got Oregon on Friday night, so I guess we'll find out.
Quick programming announcement for those listening in Columbus on our flagship station, 97.1 The Fan. Will be breaking away at 6:45 for Blue Jackets hockey in Columbus. You can continue listening to the remainder of the show on 1460 ESPN or 97.1 HD. That channel will be available for you as well. What happened this past weekend around the Big Ten? We will break it down for you next as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center. Hey, Ohio State fans, it takes a lot of energy to root for the Buckeyes. That's why Burger King is going to get your team going with the $20 Buckeye Blitz Bundle. This OSU fan exclusive has a delicious lineup that includes 2 Whopper sandwiches, 1 cheeseburger, 3 small fries, and 3 small drinks. Get over to your local BK and get fueled up for game day. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, CEO. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Ohio State defeats Michigan State on Saturday, 38-7. We'll hear from Buckeye coach Ryan Day coming up in just a bit. Welcome back to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mosic. Buckeye fans, say goodbye to higher rates with a fixed price plan from AEP Energy. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
This is to tie the game officially from 56 left hack. Gross is ready. The snap, little high spot, kick on its way, end over end, got the distance, but he missed it! Wide to the left, and the Scarlet Knights hold on! 21-18, your final score in the Big Ten opener here in Piscataway. Rutgers comes away with the victory over Washington.
Chris Carlin on Learfield. Rutgers goes down to the wire, but they improved to 4-0, beating Washington Friday 21-18.
You know, the way that Kyle Monangai continues to run the football, excuse me, when Rutgers gets a lead, that's where that's going to be difficult to catch him, because all they've got to do is run. We know that in the past, especially when Ohio State's played him, throwing the ball has been problematic for him. But, you know, the thing that really gets you curious about Rutgers, and we've talked about it, you look at their schedule. They don't have Ohio State. They don't have Michigan. They don't have Penn State. They've got to play at USC, I believe. They've got to go to Nebraska. But this is a team that, and we laughed when other people said they could win 9, maybe 10 games this year.
Yeah, they could make the playoffs, right? Who knows? I mean, if they win 11, they might hold them out if they would, beat one of those Nebraskas or USC. So you just never know. But, the running the football, Monangai, last year he's a Big Ten leader, and he looks like he hadn't dropped off. So, I mean, that's what they want to do. They want to pound the ball. I would be a little hesitant, that many carries for the young man. Sooner or later he's going to wear him out a little bit. So
and they're stopping people, too.
You got to be cautious with that. Well, they didn't stop Washington. They had 521 yards in that game.
Prior to that game, yeah.
And they only had 299, But what happened, and you heard it there, they missed a 56-yarder. They missed 2 other field goals there. So, Washington threw it like 40-some times in that ball game. So they got to kind of figure out what they want to do, what kind of team they want to be in the Big Ten. But, offensively, they did, over 500 yards. But they just couldn't score points when they needed to. They didn't score in the red zone touchdowns. They set up for field goals, and then they missed 3, including the one at the end that could have tied it.
To the Rose Bowl, where UCLA hosted Oregon.
Tez alone to the left. Might be holding. Back to throw. Gabriel has some time. Sprints to his left. Throws into the end zone. It's caught. How did he get that through to Tez Johnson? Through traffic. A dart by Dylan Gabriel, and Tez Johnson with a catch.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Ducks cruise 34-13.
This might be, Skip, as much about UCLA's problems as it is Oregon. But Dylan Gabriel seems to have gotten into a real good groove and found a good rhythm. Tez Johnson is a special type of wide receiver, but UCLA just kind of continues to. And they even had a pick 6 right before halftime that maybe would have turned the momentum around, but it seems like UCLA has kind of become their own worst enemy.
172 yards of total offense. That's a good half for most college football teams. So that's not going to win you a lot of Big Ten football games, but Tez Johnson is. And that's what Oregon has. He had 11 catches in that game, 121 yards. Dylan Gabriel threw 3 touchdowns, had that 1 interception in the game. So they've gotten things figured out offensively for Oregon. And defense, they did a good job of shutting down the Bruins.
Top 20 matchup in State College, where Penn State hosted Illinois.
3rd and goal at the 4. 2 near side, 1 far side. Allen. Up the middle, down to the left side. Touchdown, Penn State! Nicholas Singleton from 4 yards out, and for the first time tonight, the Nittany Lions take the lead.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network. Lions tested pretty good, but they beat Illinois 21-7.
We talk so much about Luke Altmaier of Illinois playing so well the previous week. Well, turnovers got him in trouble. But the interesting thought about Penn State, they're using their tight end, Tyler Warren, taking direct snaps to run the ball, taking direct snaps to throw the ball, taking direct snaps to pitch to other people. They've got a real unique weapon with that tight end there.
Yeah, and with, they got the 2 running backs, Allen and Singleton, and, both those guys run for almost, 200 yards combined. So that was their game plan. They were going to, shrink the game by running the football, keep pounding. Allen was 15 of 21 throwing the football, so they understood what their formula was. And their defense, their defense is tough. They're at home. They limited Illinois just to 34 yards rushing, and, they got after Altmaier a little bit.
To Ann Arbor, where Michigan hosted Minnesota.
Michigan goes I formation. This is the same look they had against USC on the final play on the 4th and 2. And the same play. They hand it off to Kalel, running left into the end zone. Same result. Touchdown, Wolverines. Kalel Mulling's 2nd touchdown run of the day. And Michigan extends the lead to 13.
Doug Hirsch on Learfield after being down 21-3. The Gophers made things interesting late, but not enough. Michigan wins 27-24.
Yeah, the Gophers had 21 points in the 4th quarter, and had they gotten that onside kick,
looked like it was good.
A lot of people feel like they should have been given credit for getting it. The way they had the momentum, that game could have easily gone the other way.
Wolverines now have won 27 straight Big Ten football games, and most of it has been on the ground running the football, especially this year with that has been their formula. But you're right. We watched that a couple times, that onside kick, and it might have been a hair that they crossed the line. And, it's just one of those things you don't want to make it.
And not reviewable.
No, and make it that close for the referees to get in the way of that. But credit Minnesota for fighting back in that 4th quarter, but Michigan had that big lead.
To the Coliseum, where Wisconsin was at USC.
Lock. Ooh, yeah. Intercepted by Cobb. 50. He's at the 40. 30. Down the sideline. 20. 10. 5. Touchdown! Mason Cobb. Pick 6.
Pete Arbogast, USC Radio. Badgers were in control early, but too much SC in the second half. They win 38-21.
Well, turnovers like that and a muffed punt that gave USC a short field really kind of did Wisconsin in. they're kind of struggling here with the way they got hammered at home by Alabama and then dropping this one. And there's probably still some questions about USC, how good, and especially how good defensively they might be, but they were able to take advantage of the gifts that Wisconsin gave them.
Yeah, and Wisconsin, they're trying to go that air raid now, which is something that, we've known Wisconsin for a long time under Alvarez, under Bielema. They're a pound the rock type of team. They got those type of linemen. Until they transition over to a pass blocking team, it's going to be tough for them. And they didn't run the ball well at all. Just 102 yards or 106 yards on the ground, a couple touchdowns. But that's not what Wisconsin does. Now they're trying to switch, and they're caught in this phase. Do we do this or not? But you listen to some of these message boards, and they don't like what they're seeing about Wisconsin's offense right now.
Indiana came into the weekend unbeaten. Could they stay that way against Maryland?
He's in the slot to the right side. Here's the snapback. Here is Rourke. Wants to throw it. He finds McCulley. Catch. Touchdown.
Don Fisher on Learfield. Hoosiers are 5-0 for the first time since the Lyndon Johnson administration. They beat Maryland 42-20, 1967.
Some of us remember that. And if you remember, I believe it was Indiana, Purdue, and Minnesota tied for the Big Ten championship that year. Rourke has made such a big difference at quarterback.
Yep.
You look at the way they've also played defensively, and you wonder, too, is this kind of the same old story with Maryland? They play well in the non-conference, and then they get into Big Ten play, and it seems to start off badly for them.
Elijah Sarrett, I think that's how you say it. His nickname's Waffle House, always open. And he's starting to make some plays out there. At 7 receptions for 128 yards and a TD. So
his hands
working.
sticky?
Got the syrup.
Scattered, smothered, covered.
Final stop, West Lafayette, where Purdue hosted Nebraska.
3rd and goal at the 6. 3-0 Purdue, late third quarter. Dillon goes shotgun. They motion Banks back. Back to throw is Dillon. Has some time. Set throws to the back of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Nebraska. He finds Jamal Banks for 6 points. Huskers have the lead in West Lafayette.
Greg Sharp, Husker Network. After a scoreless first half, Nebraska wins it on the road at Purdue 28-10.
Yeah, they exploded in the fourth quarter with 21 points. And a nice bounce-back game for them after the disappointing loss they had to Illinois. Purdue ended up yesterday dismissing their offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell. And it just, the predictions before the season seem to be coming true. Just a program that can't find any traction.
Yeah, and listen to Matt Rule. He was excited. Hey, it's 0-0. I went in at halftime. Says this is exactly the type of game we need to find out who we are. Yeah, right. He wanted to be winning that. But, what only offensive problems that they're having? They had 13 penalties for 165 yards, and they had 6 flags for pass interference. So
6?
Yeah, and you're firing the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes sense somewhere.
Yeah.
Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on Bally Sports Ohio. Up next, we are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready to celebrate National Taco Day the right way? Bubba Coos Burritos is giving 5 lucky loyalty members a chance to win big. Sign up for our loyalty program by October 3rd and you could be $1,000 richer. That's right, $1,000. It's easy. Celebrate National Taco Day the Bubba Coos way. Sign up now before National Taco Day at BubbaCoos.com.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great-tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Family dinners, game nights, and holiday parties. It all happens at home. And we want to help you realize your dream of homeownership. We are the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and if you're ready to buy a home, we may be able to help. Visit myohiohome.org for more information on down payment assistance, lower interest rates, and more. OFA makes purchasing a home more affordable. Visit myohiohome.org. Home ownership. Make it part of your future.
Hey there, Buckeye fans. Coach Day here. When you're getting ready for game day, make sure you start with the Kroger app. The app gives you easy access to weekly sales, and personalized coupons, and you can earn fuel points too. And best of all, when you shop with the app, you'll enjoy the same low prices you'd find in-store. So check out the app and save while you're cheering us on to another great season. Kroger, fresh for everyone, and go Buckeyes.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mosic. Quick programming notes, again, coming up at 6:45 for those listening in Columbus on our flagship station, 97.1. The Fan will be breaking away for Blue Jackets hockey. You can listen to the remainder of tonight's Roundtable show on 1460 ESPN and 97.1 HD2. So that's all coming up here in just a few moments. Again, Ohio State with the victory on Saturday, 38-7. We're joined for a few minutes now by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, I know what our reaction was Saturday night in the booth when Jeremiah Smith made his touchdown grab. I know you like to show the game to the team on Sundays. What was the team's reaction when that play came on the board yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, you could just imagine. Yeah, I mean, everybody was just, almost shaking their head. I mean, but that being said, he makes a lot of those plays in practice. So this is not something that, I shouldn't say it didn't surprise us because, that was just one heck of a play that I don't think anybody expected. But he makes those plays a lot in practice, and you play how you practice, and he has just a special ability to make plays.
Coach, knowing that field position is maybe one of the big determiners, but if you would just talk about the decisions to go for plays on fourth down, what all goes into that, and how quickly that's got to be communicated from all points.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, the situation, timing of the game, where we are on the field. For instance, on the 4th and 5, we felt like we were at a point where, it was a 50-plus yard field goal. We felt like we had a pretty decent play there. And so, we went forward at that spot. And so you take a lot of things into consideration in that moment. And we do, have some analytics that, we'll use as a guideline, but certainly not making the final decisions. But it does give you some good information in terms of statistically when it is a good idea to go for it and when not. But we take a lot of things into consideration, but we felt like we wanted to be aggressive in this game, and we converted on those fourth downs, except for the last one there. But that really made a difference in the outcome of the game.
Coach, you had that 17-7 lead there in the second quarter. Michigan State has the ball. They fumble. You get the ball with 3 minutes to go. You end up 4th and 3. You end up punting it for the first time, thinking, man, I might not see the ball again. But your defense goes out there, gets some stops. We had a sack there by JTT. Was able to step up and make a play. And then here it is with 1:13 to go, or 1:19 left. You got a chance to do it. And you never expect a guy that's averaging 50 yards a punt to punt at 27 yards. And you got that. You got good field position, got a couple first downs, and put yourself in that position. And then you go out there and you get another stop, to start the third quarter. And, you always talk about that middle 8, the last 4 of the first half, the first 4 of the second half, and you guys executed perfectly there.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. The middle 8 really started 17-7 and pretty much ended 31-7. And that was the difference in the game. And, it started with that second down sack because, we get that sack, we're calling a timeout there. If we don't, we're probably going to let it go just because we don't want to help Michigan State in that spot. But once we felt like it was advantageous for us, and then we got Caleb makes the tackle on third down, so then you definitely want to save time there. And then, we operated the 2-minute drill. Defense comes out, gets a stop, and I think we had, over a 10-play drive coming back to score coming out of the half. So when you can win that middle 8, certainly the game can flip, and that's been an emphasis this offseason. So good to see us executing that point of the game.
You mentioned Caleb Downs, and certainly his presence was very prominent in that football game. Is that kind of help where you can get pressure from all points on that defense?
Yeah, Caleb. You just see how quickly he gets to the line of scrimmage and how fast he has to react. And some of that's God-given ability, but a lot of it is preparation. He works really hard. He's here early in the mornings, stays late at night, and you can just see his playmaking ability, and he's physical. When he shows up, he's exploding towards the ball, and he's got great energy. And even towards the end of the game, he was encouraging some of the younger guys that were in the game. So he's a huge part of our defense and become a huge part of our team.
Well, you can see it there, and almost like he read that screen before it came out of the quarterback's hands. Right. Like he knew exactly where to boom, and he fired it and made the tackle. Coach Will Howard got nicked up, as we kind of thought up in the booth. Looks like he got the air knocked out of him because, where he took that shot. And able to move around, he's not kind of ain't broken ribs or anything. But then you bring Devin in. Was there any discussion, hey, just run it here, let's kick a field goal? What was the thought process there of like, hey, we're going to go ahead and put the ball in his hands and make a throw?
Yeah, no, it was what we wanted to do is we wanted to take a shot. We felt like based on the situation that if we could, shoot it down the field and score a touchdown, that we wanted to at least have that opportunity based on what we were seeing for a defense. We felt like we at least had the opportunity for 3 points. So, we literally told Devin, hey, Dev, here's what we're going to do. Put it in a place where only, our guys can make the play. And
he did.
And certainly he did that. And then Jeremiah did the rest. But that was it. And I thought he did a good job of it because Trey came across and picked up a blitz coming from the field.
Nice.
And so he slid over quick. Yeah, it was a huge pickup and allowed Devin the opportunity to slide over, kind of put it in the hole right there against cover 2, and Jeremiah did the rest.
Coach,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jim.
Will Howard's feeling fine now?
Yeah, Will's doing great. Yeah, like you say, got the wind knocked out of him, but he's doing good now.
Coach, you said after the second week that Austin Sareveld was going to continue to get some reps. It seemed as though on some of those big plays, we could see 67 moving up and down the field in a hurry and making some big plays. Is he a guy that's just continued to earn some of those reps?
He has. Yeah, he's getting better with every rep he gets. That was his first real road game, and a lot comes with that. And it was a great crowd early on, so good to have our guys play in that environment and handle, even on third down, some silent count. A Big Ten opponent, and it's only going to get ratcheted up here against Iowa this week.
Coach Tyleik Williams, there's talk maybe he could go, maybe not. But Tywan Malone, again, got some experience, playing time in there with Hero Kanu and Caden McDonald. It's good to get those young defensive tackles some opportunities, knowing that you got Tyleik, time to get healthy.
Yeah, it was important to get those guys going the last couple of games, and if we needed Tyleik, he was ready to go in an emergency role. But we wanted one more week of rest if possible, and we were able to do that. So good to get other guys reps in there, and it was good to see Caden McDonald make a TFL there in the second half. And I felt like some of the guys did grow up a little bit there. Still got a lot to grow, but there was improvement there. And I think a big part of that is just, there's nowhere to turn. You have to carry the water. You have to carry the load. Tyleik's down, so you got to pick it up. And there's a certain level of maturity that has to happen. And that's what we're counting on, these last couple of weeks, that hopefully these guys took the next step.
Coach, you mentioned Iowa, just your early in the week thoughts on the Hawkeyes.
Man, same as always, just, really well coached, tough, physical. I feel like they've made a lot of strides on offense, and they're, running the ball well, and certainly the play actions and everything that comes with it. So, Caleb Johnson's running really well. Tight ends are very active.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan.
We interrupt Buckeye Roundtable to bring you Columbus Blue Jackets hockey. Roundtable continues on 1460 ESPN and The Fan's HD2. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Tonight, the Columbus Blue Jackets pass the halfway point of the 2024-2025 NHL preseason. They're set for a Metropolitan Division battle with the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets hockey starts right now.
Welcome to Columbus Blue Jackets hockey. This is the Toyota pregame show, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Zach Werenski gives it to David Severson. He finds Cole Sillinger on the left wing side. Gives to Marchenko with a shot. And he scores! Kirill Marchenko pulled the trigger quickly. He put it off the glove of Vasilevsky, and it goes into the net.
Blue Jackets hockey is also presented by Cameron Mitchell Restaurants. Reserve now at CameronMitchell.com. Cleveland Cliffs and Worthington Steel. Pass it forward. And by Bread Financial, the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Today's game is being brought to you locally by
Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard and Reynoldsburg. Bobcat Equipment. Built tough, priced right. By your Central Ohio Volkswagen dealers. And by Atlas Butler Plumbing and Drain Cleaning Services. Your flagship home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
With a Toyota pregame show, here's Dylan Tyre.
Welcome inside Nationwide Arena, where tonight the Blue Jackets will battle the Washington Capitals for the second time this preseason. They faced off just a couple of days ago, and the Blue Jackets hammered the Caps in D.C. They beat them by a final score of 8-4 behind a hat trick from Adam Fantilli. The Blue Jackets carried that momentum into the very next night. They beat the Buffalo Sabres here at Nationwide Arena by a final score of 6-3. All things considered, 3 straight wins for the Blue Jackets coming into this one. They're now 3-1 on the preseason. Talking about that game against Buffalo, we got to see the preseason debuts of some key Blue Jackets veterans. Zach Werenski on the blue line, then in the forward group, team captain Boone Jenner, as well as a new Blue Jacket. That is first-line centerman Sean Monahan. Monahan had a terrific game. He scored 2 goals in his Blue Jackets preseason debut, and a big part of one of those goals was Kent Johnson. Johnson has been a real standout for the Blue Jackets this preseason. It feels like he's picking up points left and right. And in my opinion, he was the Blue Jackets' best player on the ice in that game against Buffalo. We get to see all of the players I just mentioned in this game tonight against the Washington Capitals. One player we won't see is forward Justin Danforth. He's out with a wrist injury as we go over the Ohio Health Injury Report. Ohio Health, official health care provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. For Danforth, he had surgery on that wrist. He is skating on his own, just not with the Blue Jackets as a team yet, so that recovery continues for Justin Danforth. Hopefully he's back skating with the team sooner rather than later. Take a look right now at our pregame odds brought to you by Fanatic Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 plus. The Blue Jackets are minus 105 to win this game outright on the money line. To cover a 1.5-goal puck line, they're minus 260. And the over-under for tonight's game between the Blue Jackets and the Caps is set at 6.5 goals. On the other side of this one, Washington brings a mostly veteran lineup to take on the Blue Jackets. One notable absence, though, Alex Ovechkin. He made his preseason debut in Washington against the Blue Jackets a few nights ago, that 8-4 Blue Jackets victory. He does get the evening off tonight in Columbus, but lots of other veterans in there for Washington, including both their goaltenders, Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren, will dress in this game against the CBJ. For the Blue Jackets, one veteran that I didn't mention earlier is James Van Riemsdyk. He scored his first preseason goal with the Blue Jackets in that game against Buffalo. Tonight, he faces off against his brother Trevor, who's a defenseman for the Washington Capitals. How does he feel about it? He'll tell you when we come back on the Blue Jackets Radio Network.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than with family, like the Toyota Truck family. Now through September 30th, get $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra, depending on model. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Public ice skating is back at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks. Get out of the house and do something fun with family and friends this weekend. Join us for public ice skating every Saturday and Sunday afternoon at one of our 3 great locations in Dublin, Easton, and Lewis Center. Suitable for ages 4 and up. Family and group rates available. Visit thechiller.com for exact times and pricing. Escape to the ice at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks, the coolest place in town for family fun.
Hey parents, if you're interested in getting your child started in hockey, listen up. The Blue Jackets Get Out and Learn program presented by Safelite in association with Apex Pros introduces first-time participants ages 5 to 9 to the sport of hockey for free. Each participant gets 30 minutes of instruction, a free stick and a ball, jersey or t-shirt to keep. Register for an ice or street hockey clinic now at bluejackets.com/goal. That's bluejackets.com/goal.
Dylan Tyre back with you live from Nationwide Arena ahead of tonight's action between the Blue Jackets and the Washington Capitals. With you on the Toyota pregame show. And right now it's time to hear from a new veteran on the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's James Van Riemsdyk, who they signed just before the start of training camp. And James joins me for the Toyota pregame player interview brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
James, it's been a whirlwind first couple weeks of camp here. You're brand new to Columbus, but what's the adjustment been like so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, like you said, everything kind of came together last minute, but super happy with how it's gone so far. It's been great to kind of get to know some of the guys I didn't know a lot better, and some familiar faces, and get to see them again and play on the same team as them. So it's been a good transition so far, and getting more and more comfortable by the day.
What's it been like being coached by Dean Evison on the ice? It's new for everybody here, you included, so what's that experience been like?
Yeah, that's been great. He's got a great sort of wit to him, and likes to keep things fun and light, but definitely hold us accountable at the same time. So his temperament's been fun to be around on a day-to-day.
Looks like he's got you playing alongside Kent Johnson in this game tonight against Washington. KJ's been a standout for the Blue Jackets in the preseason. What have you learned about his game?
Yeah, I just learned how much he loves hockey, to be honest. I've spent a lot of time with him, probably more time with him than anyone since I've been here, just because I've been downtown waiting for my family and stuff to get here. So he's been nice to kind of show me the ropes. Just him and some of the other younger guys taking me out for dinners and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's been great to get to know him, see how passionate he is about the game. And obviously, like you said, like you could see how dynamic he's been and how great of a camp he's having. And he's hungry to take a step in his game this year. So it's been exciting to see that.
You just brought up your family. You get to play against your brother in the Washington Capitals tonight. Yeah. Obviously not the first time, but being in the Metro, you're going to be able to see him a lot this season. What's it feel like to play against your brother? Yeah, it's always kind of surreal in a way. Like it's something I never want to take for granted, just because, again, you grow up playing hockey in your basement, hockey in your driveway, and you never really think that you're going to get a chance to do this at this level for as long as we've been able to do it for. So I think we're probably at like 20 to 25 head-to-head matchups. I'm pretty sure I've got the edge. You might have to fact-check me on that. So I don't know how we're going to count this preseason game towards that tally, but it's always fun to get out there against them, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have to try to take them one-on-one and see if I can get the better of them. Dean Evison has said it. He's liked the steps the Blue Jackets have taken so far in the preseason, 3-1 coming into this game against Washington. As a team, what are you trying to get out of this matchup?
Yeah, I think just really honing in on the details and the structure that we're trying to play with. You want that to become instinctual. I think the less you're kind of thinking about stuff when you're playing, obviously the more you kind of play in that flow state, which is what we're all chasing after. So, yeah, I think getting the live reps in that is always great. And I think, like you said, we've been able to get better as camp's gone along with some of the details and structure we're trying to play with. And the more we can be on the same page for that, the more predictable we are to each other. And I think we're able to have more success that way. So that's definitely been encouraging so far.
All right, James, thanks for this. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
Blue Jackets forward James Van Riemsdyk sharing his thoughts before he gets to take on his brother Trevor in the Washington Capitals tonight at Nationwide Arena. We're set for another break on the Toyota pregame show. When we return, we'll go beyond the numbers with Bread Financial. Also take a look at the Nationwide NHL schedule for the evening on the Blue Jackets Radio Network.
Here are 5 great reasons to get a Blue Jacket season ticket plan this season. 1. Choose the games you just gotta see. 2. Plans start at just 6 games. 3. Incredible savings. 4. a ticket trade program for games you can't make, and 5 invitations to exclusive events all year long. Come on, need more reasons? Visit BlueJackets.com/tickets today.
When you travel, they always say, get a room with a view. And there's no better way to travel than the roomy new Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time, so you can take your travels even farther. Now through September 30th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing with approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Book your room now. Toyota. Let's go places.
Grippo's is the original fun food company for over 100 years. Whether you're watching the Blue Jackets at home or cheering them on at Nationwide Arena, grab a bag of Grippo's potato chips. Third, fourth, and fifth generations of the Grippo family are committed to making the freshest, highest quality potato chips and snack foods that we can eat. Cheer on your Columbus Blue Jackets with the official potato chip partner, Grippo's.
Welcome back to the Toyota pregame show. I am Dylan Tyre with you live from Nationwide Arena ahead of preseason game number 5 for the Blue Jackets. They're battling the Washington Capitals. Before we drop the puck, let's go beyond the numbers with Bread Financial. Bread Financial, proud to be the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Tonight's number is 17. That's because the Blue Jackets have combined to score 17 goals across their last 3 games. 8 of those, so nearly half, came against this very same Washington Capitals team last Friday night in D.C. So the Blue Jackets want to stay hot and earn their 4th consecutive victory this preseason. They enter this one at 3-1. It's a full slate of games across the NHL this evening. Let's take a look at the Nationwide NHL schedule. Nationwide is on your side. Starting off in the 7 o'clock time slot alongside the Blue Jackets and the Caps, the Detroit Red Wings will welcome in the Pittsburgh Penguins. Also at 7, the Red Wings playing again. Little split squad matchup for them. They'll battle the Buffalo Sabres. In New Jersey, it's the Devils taking on the New York Rangers. Then on Long Island, it's the Islanders battling the Philadelphia Flyers. One other game starting off at 7 in Florida. It's the Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. 2 games starting off at 9 o'clock. First in Calgary, the Flames will take on the Seattle Kraken. Then in Edmonton, it's the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. The final game of the evening will start at 10 o'clock Eastern. This one in Anaheim, little crosstown rivalry matchup between the Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings. Tonight, though, the Blue Jackets' focus is on the Washington Capitals. It's the series finale for them in the preseason. Little Metropolitan Division matchup here. Game number 5 for the Blue Jackets on this preseason slate, hoping for their 4th consecutive victory. When we come back, Bob McElligott has tonight's starting lineups and more, live from Nationwide Arena on the Blue Jackets Radio Network.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors. This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. I've had to be versatile my whole football career. Of course, I'm a defensive end, but I've also played special teams and even played fullback. Whether I'm blocking or tackling, I've got to be ready for any job out there, which is why I love the versatility in Kubota's BXB and L Series tractors. There's no task too big or small with Kubota tractors from Green & Sons. Visit greenandsons.com today, or stop by their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville, and get yourself a Kubota tractor that works as hard as I do.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair